I woke up at 5 a.m. I thought the aircon was very noisy, but it turned out to be the rain. I had hoped that I had ridden past the rainy region yesterday. Anyway, maybe the rain would stop soon, I thought. At 8 a.m., the rain had not stopped. In fact, the weather forecast showed that it would rain about 150 kilometers to the north. That means I would be wet for half the ride. Around 2 hours later, I arrived at a standstill traffic jam. Was this the flood area that I had been warned about? I sat on my Kawasaki and waited with the other motorists. As I looked through the GPS, I saw another way to Bangkok. The GPS showed me small farm roads and back lanes used by kampong folk. It was still raining, but despite that, some of the kampong folk came out to redirect the traffic in that area and showed us the way to bypass the floods. There were mini floods along the way, but my Kawasaki Adventure motorcycle performed as advertised. Some sections were just full of potholes. Nevertheless, you don't get adventures sitting in a hotel room. Adventures happen when you get out there and do something about it. Even though I had washed my clothes last night and hung them to dry, they were still damp. So I put the wet clothes on because if I put them into the bag, they would smell terrible at the end of the day. I also made a wrong turn and was shown the correct way by a kind volunteer.
Okay, thank you. ขอบคุณครับ
There were quite a few vehicles that knew this secret alternative way too. Everybody drove as if they only wanted to get out of the flood. Me, I rode my bike into every goddamn pothole. Still, I had another 200 km to go before I reached my intended hotel. I stopped at a petrol station to have a late lunch and to fill the bike with petrol. After that, I soldiered on. My body was aching from the long ride. After some time, I arrived back at the main road. It had very little traffic, possibly because the bulk of the traffic was stuck behind the flood. On the opposite side, traffic was still at a standstill. They were stuck trying to cross the flood that I had just escaped. At about 2 p.m, I rode out of the rain zone and into clearer skies. I took the chance to remove my raincoat, and as I did, I could smell the sweat that had accumulated underneath. My socks and gloves were still wet, but at least I was not sweating under the raincoat. By 3 p.m, I was already pretty tired from the day's ride. Luckily, I spotted something that made me U-turn. I found coconut ice cream.
Okay, yes.
I always eat coconut ice cream when I'm in Thailand since I can't get it in Malaysia. My friend Chris does not like riding this stretch between Hat Yai and Bangkok, and think I know why. The southern highway is filled with slow-moving traffic and many lorries and trailers. Every mile is filled with overtaking them while making sure you keep to the speed limit. I also saw a jackfruit stall by the roadside and bought some. I finally reached the hotel at about 6 p.m. and I searched the map for nearby amenities and was delighted to see a laundromat. My pants and jacket were sandy from the water splash during the journey.